What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's IP here, kids. IRL here. So what I've got for you today is we're going into a new game called Era of Conquest. If you've been watching my content thus far, you know I've been playing mobile games for starting really at Lord of the Rings mobile game, the tile base. Then I went over to Epic Age, and now here I am, and I think this will probably be my newest game going forward. Me and Sir Chubbs have been playing this a lot, and I'll get to that right here in a second, but I did want to go ahead and kind of, while that was going on, show y'all a cool event that's going on at the same time while we're doing this, is to kind of break down my first impressions about Era of Conquest and what I kind of think about it so far. This is pretty much the newest strategy game to have come out that is really impressive, I want to say, because a lot of them are just clones of Rise of Kingdoms, and this game does a lot to stand out than just copying and pasting everything that game does versus anything else, and then doing a lot of the tile-based games and things like that just copy and paste. So, my first impression so far is the game is very free-to-play friendly. I can't say that about any of Lord of the Rings or Epic Age so far. I really cannot say that if you're coming from either of those games and you're stepping foot into this game, there is such a difference between a hardcore pay-to-win player versus anything else. This game highly rewards you for being active. I'll break down just what I think based off of the initial things that you get to do within the first couple of days, that you get to play this game a lot for free. I can't sit here and say that you're not going to spend a dollar here, a dollar there, but I can say that majority of the content is right there in front of you for free. You know, you could do everything along with it, but I just want to prepare everyone going into this that you might spend a dollar here or there, but in comparison to what a lot of the mobile games are nowadays, you do not feel as inclined to just drop money on a game versus this game. So I want to go ahead and preface that this game is very free-to-play friendly. And I've spent a lot of money in the past on games like this. I don't feel the need at all in this game to spend money. So I do want to preface that up front because that is a huge playing point for a lot of people. So let's kind of break it down. What do I think about the game first? And combat-wise, the progression in this game, and if you're kind of coming over from Epic Age, you'll know that I go back and forth a lot with Pantheon, for instance. Pantheon's a good friend of mine. We've really come to know each other, and we were playing this game to start, and the one thing that we kept going back and forth about was the progression linearity. You know, how it's the way that you level up in this game, separate from a lot of other games, is there's a lot of different ways to level up. Leveling up can be anything from going and clearing like a bandit camp. So let's go out here to the main. If we just go over here, click, you know, you can go and see rebels. You can attack the rebels. You can also clear resource nodes. And managing stamina is just as important as this game as a lot of the other games you've probably played as well. So managing stamina is a very crucial thing if you want to be competitive in this. Basically, if we go out to the global map, so if we keep backing out, this is basically your starting zone, and your starting zone is completely randomized. Where you start, you have no control over, basically. You do not control where you start at. It is randomized. I will kind of briefly touching on that. I like it so much being randomized because it takes a lot of stress away from players forcing themselves to make a guild, start something strong, and you're less worried about playing the game than you are just, alright, you know, it's randomized the first couple of things, I can focus on what I need to do to build up. So it takes a lot of stress away from the players just having to make a guild, and, you know, in reality, most of those guilds, it's the first person who just makes the guild in most of these games decides the fate of the whole server just because they were the first one to make it. So I like how it's just pre-made. You just get auto-sorted into a house, basically. And as I keep scrolling out here, you get to see more of the game's map size. So the game is huge. I mean, I really can't stress this enough how big this is. We are just a small little portion over here, and we have probably 100 players. I would say each little starting town probably has close to 100 players in it. right over there. That's another one. That's another one right there. All these little ones are possible starting zones for everyone. So it gives a lot of growth going forward whenever seasons merge, that it can accommodate the players. So really like that. And as you see, the tiles are taken. Those tiles are owned by opposing factions rather than us. So that's one faction. This is another faction. So if we keep going around, that's another faction. This one, I actually think that's just terrain. Yeah, that's just terrain. So that right over there, a Lion Fang, that's actually a player. This right here, this is a player group. So as you can see on this one server, I would suggest thinking outside the box. I think we have close to around 1,500 players on this one server. Each server right now, and that I might be wildly off. I really might be wildly off on the suggestion size, but judging by what I see, and now that's also people that are being active, so I would say you probably have 100 active players in each zone. I wouldn't say it's just the people that have downloaded the game and logged in, right? I want to say 100 active players, which is very healthy for these types of games. So, and likely what will happen too is we'll merge, right? We'll merge. So, kind of diving back into how you progress the game, right? That is what was so confusing to me, and that's the reason why I didn't want to record, like, just right off the bat, because I want to bring this to y'all and me have a grasp on kind of what we're doing. So, if we're looking at the game right here, the main goal is to, I would imagine, is to unify this right here. We're going to unify going into, like, White Dew right over here and then keep progressing forward. We're eventually going to collide with whoever would be over here. And what I would see is we probably don't have anyone competing with us over here. I could be wrong, but I don't see any tiles taken. So, likely what will happen is we'll fight these these groups over here, and then we'll continue to progress into White Dew. Then from there, we'll progress over here. And at the same time, this group's over here, they're going to merge, and then we're going to fight them probably right here. And then right here, we're going to see, it's a very jaded, you know, it's very clear cut that this is the final battle arena. It basically, whoever gets Imperium is the winner. And then I did find out that the servers reset a lot like how a lot of the other servers do, and that was one of my big concerns going into this is, like a lot of the other games, the server that you're on, it's there, and it's just static, and you just keep leveling up on that one server. I didn't like that. I like for things to reset. That's my own personal preference, is to have like a wipe cycle, and then you go through and you become stronger, and then your guilds become stronger. It does force players to merge together, and I think it makes for the most competitive environment, right? Rather than just being one static server that stays there and keeps leveling up and you keep battling at max level, I think that becomes a little bit stale. So I like how the servers reset, you get to go in, you get to do all this stuff again, and you keep having enjoyable experiences so far. This map has a lot of depth to it that I like. I like how it doesn't just randomly favor one side, right? That's what you see a lot of in some of these other games. Like, one starting zone will always be favored over another. If you look, it does a good job of separating each zone differently. So, does a really good job there. Really like how they've done the map. Very clear cut. You can kind of just follow inward. It's not complicated at all in that aspect. So, simplified right there. So let's go back into our home base right over here. Heroes and skills, right? There are 30 heroes in the game so far. Kind of just running through the people that I have, and a lot of these people I've gotten through free to play. I've done a little bit of spending, and so this is kind of what I've gotten after just a little bit of spending. And so I've gotten a lot of these heroes, and kind of want to showcase a few of them later on. You know, the Chad series will come back. Trust me when I say that. Chad series will come back. And so I was happy to get a couple of these people that I can make the Chad series with. So 30 heroes. A lot of these people down here at the bottom, for instance, they're separated by all these heroes are separated by epic and legendary. Two separate classifications. Basically, epic is the lower tiered heroes. Legendary is the higher tier heroes. You get separate upgrades for each one. So what I mean by that is, whenever you're going to, for instance, if we were to go over here to summon, for instance, right over here. Does it show? Yes. So right here, you're going to get a lot of the statues, right? Each statue is for awakening and advancing. Basically, what you do is, once you draw one of these right here, which really isn't hard, as you saw, I've drawn most of the characters in the game already. All you need are the badges after that to just upgrade them and awaken them. It doesn't take a whole lot to awaken someone. I would say after one season, you're probably going to have most people at least unlocked if you just continuously play. You get a lot. So there's general, and then there's general. This is the legendary basically pack. It also has the epic and legendaries, the awakens. Don't want to go into too much about breaking down each character yet. We will in future videos, but the epics. So take a look at the epics. And I don't want to go too much in the starting regions, which one's the best, yada yada yada, kind of like that. But each one of these can hold their own. Mary, I've used a lot. Yi Sun Sin, I've used a lot. El Cid is great on the flame team, for instance. Ragnar, great on the assault teams. Scorpio, haven't used him. I haven't used a lot of these people yet, and I plan on using him. Baibars, he's good on the, you want to pair Ragnar or Baibars. For instance, that's a good pairing right there. So, a lot of different combinations. I like how the game, too, if you were to just go right here, and if you were to, I wonder if it would show me right here. Yes, right here. It'll give you other lineups that you can look at, right? If I wanted to build the Charlemagne team, this is the recommendation now. It would also show my combat going down significantly. So, versus this one right here, but if you look, this is the highest thing for my burn team so far that the game recommends. The game is simple in the fact that it knows that it needs to be user-friendly. That's what I like so much about this. I have yet to really dive into it. I wanted to see what the game would recommend and how good it would be. So, kind of what I've done so far is I've just been following the recommended build while I'm reading up on all the skills and how maybe in the later stages of the game, I will start to mix and match how I want to build each team. So, a lot right there. So, most of you people, not much of two, you get a legendary. You get a legendary for free if you just do well. So, if you, basically, in the first 7 days, 8 days actually, you have a chance of getting an awakened legendary Alexander the Great. And this is just kind of going into the rewards that the game's going to give you if you just play. If you are free to play, you can get this. Pantheon has spent minimal money on this. Minimal. And he has been high in the rankings every time. He was third here. I was fourth right behind him. Right here as well. Here, upgrade he was fourth. I was seventh. So you continuously get rewards if you're active and you've played. So you have a lot to gain by just being active in this game, which is very nice to see that they are user-friendly like that. And so I don't really feel the pressure of needing to spend money on this game. Like, for instance, I did this relic hunt. I did go up to Saladin, but I actually got one for free. I actually opened up a blue chest and pulled a Salad. I pulled a gold Charlemagne, too. So it's just it's very nice to see that this game rewards just continuously playing as well. So, kind of going into what the game's, how you progress as a guild. So let's go over here and let's look at the city assault, which is just epic. I mean, we were talking about this as being one of the coolest things that you could imagine. So basically, what's going on right here, and you don't have to do anything. You can just watch. And that's kind of the point. You don't. It's not interactive. It's just you're there watching it, and if you need to supplement troops, push some into the siege, take some out of the siege. So just for reference, we've got 114 troops over here, 103 troops right over here. 35 teams are engaged in battle. 38 teams are engaged in battle. This is the NPC cities that you have to take to keep progressing forward. You have to take the NPC cities. So if we back out right here, basically this is the Hex Tile Platform that is kind of unique to this game. I haven't seen it implemented really anywhere else. So you start right here. This is our starting zone, Northern Skyreach, Northeastern Skyreach. And so we're over here fighting this NPC siege city right now. Over here, I think, is our adversary. They are the Southern Skyreach. We'll probably merge into them, right? I mean, it's a new server. It's bound to happen. But basically, they're racing us. So they already took this. So now we're racing them to that one. And now we're now gonna have to play super catch up after getting this one, and we're gonna start booking it over here. So, and last night too, there was like some PvP that was going down, like right over here. Oh man, it was great. A lot of different events come up too at the start. There's like a capture the hill, that was super fun. Like me and Pantheon were just chilling in the middle, and people were just all, you know, they were just swarming in. And you would fight to see who would hold the hill longest, and you got rewards, you got merits, all that good stuff. So, very nice to see. This game's really been a joy to see. They simplified a lot of the tedious stuff, right? And that's so important. You know, they simplified the tedious stuff that you don't have to worry about, and you get to enjoy what's good about the game rather than taking away the tedious part. You know, taking tiles, now looking back, sounds tedious after just playing like this. You know, a lot of your resource gain comes from contributing to the guild war. You get a lot of resources by being there whenever you're taking strongholds, for instance. These right over here, each tile, scroll out, each one of these has five command posts. Each command post that you take and contribute to taking, you get resources for doing so. So that is a large part of your progression in the early game, is by contributing to these guild fights. So, now let's go into equipment. So, armor in this game. So basically, I'm still on tier 1. I'm just waiting on. I can kind of go into a little bit about the progression. Don't want to harp on it too much, but you get all this armor for free. I haven't paid a single penny for any of this gear. None of this has been paid for. I've gotten this all just through playing the game. So each armor, basically, you can soup up your guy. Let's go over here to tier 1 because that's what I'm on. Basically, you get this right here. It's 0.03 attack, and then each one. So you would get a, I think at the end of this, it's like 0.12, right? 0.15. I'm terrible. But it might not seem like a lot, but you get the orange set effect, which reserves transfer to tier 1 effect improved by 20%. So you definitely get more on whenever the whole thing is done, and it's meant to be minor at the same time because you don't want it to be overpowering and just like the first person that gets it just becomes absolutely monstrous. So I appreciate that. And basically, I had enough time at tier 1 to get tier 1 orange for every single one of my people. And I've been at tier 1 for now 5 days. I am level 30. A lot of other games, if I was playing this much, I'd be max level by now. And we were talking about that. It is such a grind to level. I love it though. I love it. I'm in this for the long haul. They have really staged out the progression, and you are capped in really how much you can gain per day. You cannot just sit there and blitz your way through just because you paid a lot of money. You cannot do that. So they've done a really good job of limiting the experience and you being on par with everyone else. There is basically a story dispatch right here as well. Basically, whenever you have enough dispatch supplies, you can basically randomize and go through all these, and that's how you get your equipment. So then you also have different quests as well. Like if you wanted to go back and do tier 1 stuff, you can, but you want to do whatever, you know, I'm already maxed on tier 1. I don't need any more gear for that, so I'm now focusing on other things. You can also speed up as well, but I got a thing later on. What'll happen is I'm going to need those for some of the later dispatches whenever they get really long, maybe. We'll see. So relics right here, this is how you get your gold to level up your skills. So what you're going to see right here is, let's just go over to where this guy's at. Now I'm playing this fully on PC, by the way. Works fine on mobile, works fine on PC. PC looks fantastic. This is my first time ever actually seeing it on PC. I just downloaded it and did that. So right here, for instance, What this gives you is merits or civilization medals, which is used to upgrade your civic center. You're gonna need to pace yourself in, like, oh, do I need to rush to the next level, or do I need to wait and let my troops build up, maybe gain a few levels before going in there and taking this tier versus the next tier. Like, I have 3 of these I can use. I could do this, but I'm waiting to try my luck at the tier 2 ones whenever I get tier 2 troops. So that's what I'm waiting on right there. So that kind of defines a little bit about character progression. Each character has 3 skills. Each skill is, you go up to level 10 by yourself. Then for every level after that, you have to upgrade a building. That building then just keeps, you have to keep upgrading the things within that building, and that lets you keep upgrading. So just going over to that building real quick, that is your military academy. So basically right here, if I were to just sit here and study each one of these is, so basically you spend 1 coin, you get 2 research fund. From what I've found, there is no other way to get research fund other than just spending coins on it. But I have enough right here basically to secure the, or no, I don't, because that requires 71k gold. So basically the way that I would upgrade this is by going over to those relic guardians, killing those, using the gold here, or upgrading my skills. If I were to do this, then I can get my heroes up to level 15. So good stuff there. And basically they have the troop capacity with this thing. I can't even say that, Alcazars. So that's one thing too. War Hall. This is your how many commanders you can have, how many teams you can have, and then your leadership cap. Each leader has a certain so right here, if you look at the bottom left right here, what I'm circling is their leadership cost. So this guy's 6, this guy's 6, this guy's 5. So you're gonna need to base your team around how much leadership you have. You can't just use all the best cards in the game right at the start, right? So you get to hold that back. That's gonna hold you back in terms of building out your best team so far. All the basic things are here. I don't want to go into what everything does. There's only 4 resources in the game. The game gives you mines, quarries, farms, lumberjacks, everything to passively gain. And you get a lot of other buildings that are very small, like this one. The more that you steal carts from other people, you can then use them right there. So it encourages PvP by giving you resources, but not directly. And so yeah, that is primarily it. You know, some of the summoning stuff, it does tell you, they're upfront about what the probabilities are. Random epic hero awakening card, 0.04%. Is that low? Yes, but I have awakened so many of these people by doing this right here, the relic hunt. I would highly recommend you doing this relic hunt. I would highly recommend the relic hunt. I have gotten Saladin from it. I've gotten the guy with the gun. I can't say his name. I just call him the guy with the gun. I got Charlemagne. I got him. Darius, Ragnar. I got like so many Ivars. It was unreal. So yeah, that's my opinion on that right there. And so yeah, great game. Really like to play it. Definitely my newest game now that I'm moving away from Epic Age. You know, if you're watching my content from there, thank you so much for following me from Epic Age. Thank you so much for the support there. Not really too much to go off of. You know, you level up by attacking, you know, rogues, rebels. You know, conserve your stamina, and you know, I'll bring out guides as the game goes forward to try and help y'all. But this is my first thoughts basically on the game as a whole. The game has a small, not necessarily storyline, but a progression. You know, you basically just follow this through, very clear cut, not complicated at all. So yeah, guys, that's my first thoughts on Era of Conquest. I know it was a lot, but I hope this kind of encourages you to give it a try. And let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.